Another strike team. No way, bro. What's going on, guys? Cranius Maximus here, bringing you guys another YouTube video, and welcome to episode 4 of our Nuketown series. If you're just joining us, feel free to hop on board. None of the other Nuketown series videos are commentarily related to this one, so you can always go back and watch them, and they're completely separate and whatever. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe and comment, and if you don't, actually leave a comment too. Both of those are going to help me grow as a YouTuber no matter what. If you're returning, welcome back, and let's get into it without any further delay. I was thinking about what to do for this 4th Nuketown series, and I figured, you know what, why don't we just do a commentary on why Nuketown is so damn engaging, or why I find it so fun. And what I actually found out was that through a spatial analysis of sorts, Nuketown actually creates a really polarizing effect, okay? It can either be really fun, or it can be really horrible, depending on what side of the map you're on, or what team you're on, rather, I guess I should say. And, so without further ado, guys, I guess let's go ahead and get into this analysis and my thoughts on why Nuketown as a map has stuck with the COD community for so long. So initially I was like, yeah, Nuketown's awesome and there's nothing wrong with it and it's a great map, and then I was sat down and I said, well, maybe not, because I've been in some gameplays where my win-loss ratio has tanked as a result of, you know, just me backing out, just being like, I'm done. I don't want all these streaks and attack helicopters and everything else just raining down on me. I don't want to be on the opposite end of how I usually experience Nuketown. So when I decided to do this analysis, I said, well, you know, I could do the really in-depth, you know, Asperger's level Joey analysis that I do everything else in my life with, or I could just slow things down a bit. And I think I'll take a middle-of-the-road approach here. So without further ado, let's get into what makes Nuketown fun, or what makes Nuketown really engaging to play, and why everybody would want to play it. So I think the first thing, and perhaps not the most obvious thing that makes Nuketown fun, is that there's verticality to it, right? It's not just a completely flat map, even though it is small and it is symmetrical. You have the second stories of both the houses, you have cars you can climb onto, you have the bus you can climb into and gain a couple feet on your opponent from. There are a lot of places that you can actually climb onto. And I guess that kind of segues into the idea that Nuketown is a very interactive map. There are several places you can go, several places you can hide, several places of brief respite from enemy fire in certain angles. And I think the way the map is angled tells the whole story, right? At any given point in Nuketown, you are completely safe from one area of the map, and the other area of the map you are completely exposed to. And so what this creates is a desire to move around and not be exposed to any area at one given time, or the opposite philosophy kicks in and somebody says, alright, I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to cover this area of the map and I'm going to be perennially exposed to some other area of the map and I'm just going to deal with that. What all this means, or I guess the culminating point that I'm trying to make, is that Nuketown, through its spatial arrangement, gives something to everybody. The campers have something to look forward to by sitting in either story of those two houses. The running gun people have something to look forward to by just charging across mid-map and clearing those houses. And the people that can do both, well, can do both. They can move in between the houses, and then they can patrol mid-map for a little while, and then they can just try to make a mad dash for the next house. And I come and speak from personal experience and testimony when I say there is nothing more adrenaline rushing than taking a couple rounds in the back and going into the house with like 4 HP and then healing up. Now obviously that is only something you can say in Call of Duty, and I would imagine getting actually shot feels really terrible and requires a lot of recovery, and that is in no way a you know, go war sort of statement, but hey, in Call of Duty it's totally fine to just take a couple rounds and get the blood pumping a little bit, right? You can see my guy kind of just did like an attention pose there. He just kind of got shot in the head. I don't know why I said that. I was just fascinated with the way he looked. But what does all this actually mean, right? I mean, what are the good and bad things that come out of Nuketown's cosmopolitan, overall, community-pleasing design? Well, I think at least in terms of the good things that come out of it, everybody has something to do, and they can attempt to really try to do that thing. If somebody really wants to hold a house or really wants to run around, Nuketown will let them do that. And also, I just think the overall volume of fire and motion that Call of Duty players play Call of Duty for, right? The split-second decision-making and shots and throwing shit in buildings and blowing shit up. I mean, Nuketown offers all of that, right? And then the nuke at the end for good measure. Unfortunately, there's a downside to this attempt to try to please everybody and give everybody something they can latch onto, and that's that by a certain player doing one thing, you're immediately going to alienate another group of players who want to do another thing. My experience with this map has been that I'm a very balanced player. I like to post up in a certain spot, and then when that spot gets hot, I like to go move. So I'm kind of a mix between a camper and a run and gunner, and so I get irritated at the guys who either always run and gun or who always camp, who either never give me a chance to set up, or they are just perennially somewhere and I have to remember that they're there, and that sometimes is difficult for me to do in the midst of everything else that I'm trying to do. And that kind of goes the other direction too. Somebody who is going to camp is going to be really irritated by the guy who's always going to clear their house the moment they set up, and somebody who's running around is going to be really irritated by the guy who camps and mows them down as they're halfway across the map. In addition to this, Nuketown is also very small, as we discussed earlier, which is great for the action-packed mayhem, but again, depends on what side of the action-packed mayhem you are actually on. If you're on the side that's getting all the streaks rained down on top of it, and you don't want to deal with any of that, I mean, it doesn't feel like any fun, right? Because there's no counterplay to it. Once a team has set up or established a position, Nuketown is a very unforgiving map in that it will just drop you somewhere randomly in an attempt to compensate for this because it doesn't have the space to do anything else. So what does all this mean for the map's legacy? Well, it means that it's an incredibly inconsistent map that, no matter what its results, gives high emotional intensity, right? Whether you're the team getting spawn trapped, or you're the team spawn trapping, whether you're the team raining the streaks down, or getting the hellstorms rained on you, you're gonna feel something, and that's really all a good game is supposed to do, right, is make you feel something. Now, bad games just make you feel rage all the time, but this map has been great and special in the eyes of many fans, in that most fans can look back on their just complete ass-kickings with fondness and say, yeah, Nuketown was a good map. It enabled people to do all of the cool things they wanted to do, and it really punished you if you weren't able to do those cool things, and despite all of our times where we're just horribly, completely annihilated by the gunships or strike teams or snipers' nests or chopper gunners Modern Warfare 2, but you get the point. All the streaks that have come into the game that have constantly come down on this map allow us to think about the map in an overall positive and nostalgic light. I'd wager that the moment Nuketown comes out of existence and 10 years later, when the next-gen consoles come in, all us old folks are going to say, yeah, man, I remember Nuketown. Sometimes you got your ass kicked on that map, but that's the way that map was, and that's why we loved it. Overall, guys, I just can't reiterate enough that I just love Nuketown and the experience of constantly being able to just try to go for it all, man. Try to go for the nuts. You can get absolutely boss gameplays on this map, and it's just fun in general, I think. For me, just because so often I play with my boy Austin and we get good gameplays, like the one you're seeing with the swordfish here. Anyway, guys, that's about all I have for the analysis. The gameplay is a little bit longer than 8 minutes, but not by much, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of it. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Oh no. Gunship.
Popping off, mate. Laddie's going in. Yo, dude. Got a sniper's nest. I'm never gonna be able to use it. Joey, there was someone standing right next to you. He didn't even see you.
What?
Yeah. It's not like you were laying down either. You were just standing up.
Yeah, I was piloting my gunship, dude.
Yeah, he didn't even see you. Garbage.
Losing B? That can't be happening.
Holy shit, I'm on a nasty gun streak, boys. Nasty gun streak.
About to have another set of streaks, dude.
Holy shit, I'm on a disgusting gun streak. No, I was on a fucking 20 gun streak.
I am like one off another helicopter, dude.
I've got a sniper's nest.
Airspace full, unable to task. Attack chopper available for tasking.
No way, bro.
I'm trying to get my sniper's nest in, but I can't. Oh my shit. Been holding this all game. Kids just spam their streaks. Can't do nothing.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
That game was awful.
That's a gameplay, ladies and gents.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
That is a gameplay.
We will jump straight over the